Once upon a time, there was this super clever guy named Odysseus, and he was married to Penelope. They had a son named Telemachus. Now, Odysseus was a real brainiac, and they even called him Odysseus the Cunning because of his quick mind. So, there was this big mess called the Trojan War, all because some guy named Paris decided to kidnap Helen, who was already married to Menelaus. Odysseus got dragged into this war, and it lasted for 10 whole years. Finally, Odysseus came up with this genius plan to trick the Trojans. In the middle of the night, the Greeks pretended to leave by building this huge wooden horse and leaving it outside Troy's gates. The Trojans, thinking the Greeks had given up, brought the horse inside their city as a gift. Little did they know, Odysseus and his pals were hiding inside the horse. They sneaked out, opened the gates, and let the Greek army in. Boom! The Greeks won. Now, Odysseus just wanted to go home to his island, Ithaca. But, oh boy, his journey was like a roller coaster. First, there were these tough guys called the Cicons, and they didn't take kindly to Odysseus and his crew raiding their city. Things got messy. Then they stumbled upon the land of the Lotus Eaters, where everyone was chilling and eating these magical lotus flowers. Odysseus had to drag his crew away because those lotus flowers made them forget everything and they just wanted to stay there forever. Next up was Polyphemus, a cyclops with one big eye. Odysseus outsmarted him by getting him drunk and blinding him with a hot poker. Smooth move, right? But, of course, he couldn't resist taunting Polyphemus, which made the cyclops super mad. Polyphemus even asked his dad, the sea god Poseidon, to mess with Odysseus from then on. Then there was this bag of winds from the god of winds, Aeolus. Odysseus' crew messed it up, and they ended up back where they started, classic. After that, they met the Laestrygonians, a bunch of giants who wrecked most of Odysseus' ships and crew. Only his ship survived, and he sailed on to the island of Circe, a powerful enchantress who turned some of his men into pigs. With a little help from the god Hermes, Odysseus got a potion to resist Circe's magic and convinced her to turn his crew back into humans. Then came the spooky part, a journey to the underworld. Odysseus talked to the blind prophet Tiresias, who spilled the beans about the rough road ahead. Sirens were up next, these creatures with enchanting songs. Odysseus blocked his crew's ears with wax so they wouldn't be lured, but he wanted to hear it himself. So, he tied himself to the mast. Smart move. After that, they faced Scylla, a monster with 6 heads, and Charybdis, a deadly whirlpool. Tiresias had warned Odysseus that he'd lose some crew members, and it happened. It was heartbreaking. Then they reached an island, sacred to the sun god Helios, and against all warnings, Odysseus's crew ate Helios' sacred cattle. Zeus wasn't pleased, and he sent a thunderbolt, sinking Odysseus' ship and killing everyone except Odysseus. He washed ashore on the island of the nymph Calypso, where he spent 7 years before finally getting the green light from the gods to leave. Meanwhile, back in Ithaca, Odysseus' son Telemachus was growing up. His mom, Penelope, was dealing with a bunch of annoying suitors who wanted to marry her. She tricked them by pretending to weave a shroud for Odysseus and unraveling it at night. Telemachus, on the other hand, set out to find his dad and ended up meeting some important folks, like Menelaus from the Trojan War, but he didn't get any solid info about Odysseus. Odysseus, after leaving Calypso, ended up with the Phaeacians. They were cool and helped him get back to Ithaca. Finally, he reached home in disguise and met his son and old servants. Penelope, though, didn't recognize him at first. To prove he was really Odysseus, he had to string his bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axe handles. No biggie for our hero. Then, chaos ensued as he revealed his true identity and took down all those pesky suitors. Penelope, still in disbelief, tested him by moving their bed. Odysseus passed with flying colors, and they had a tearful reunion. But wait, the story doesn't end there. Tiresias, the blind prophet, had told Odysseus to travel inland, holding an oar from his ship to find a place where people didn't know what the sea was. And so, after some years ruling Ithaca, Odysseus did just that. He met people who had never seen the sea and didn't recognize the oar. There, he settled down, married a local princess, and lived out the rest of his days far from the sea, his family, and his beloved Ithaca. And that, my friend, is the epic journey of Odysseus.